Here where the sunbeams are green, chapter 14. You know the drill, Rue says in the morning after Kyle's knock wakes us. Yet another phrase from Dad. He loved to say that. You know the drill. We're so focused, and in my case stressed out this morning, that neither of us comments on the crop of yellow flowers growing from Rue's toes. But Kyle's words about the fungus flowers keep playing through my head. A sign of being close to the goddess of the volcano. Close to the goddess of the volcano. Close to the goddess of the volcano. As Rue hops around the room, getting dressed, sticking the golden feather in her pocket. You better be good today, she warns me as we exit our room and step into the pre-dawn darkness where Kyle awaits us with his transparent bird net in hand. Man, why does Rue have to talk to me that way, as though I'm the little sister? Then again, it is true. I'm way more likely to get freaked out when we're out there in the jungle trying to do something that's probably impossible. By the time day breaks, we veered off the invisible path and have been walking for what feels like weeks. It's even grayer and heavier than yesterday morning. Rue, a few feet ahead of me, keeps putting little skips of excitement into her step. I couldn't skip right now if somebody paid me. The thrilled feeling that struck me yesterday during La Lluvia has faded. The heaviness of the day makes it especially ominous. Ominous means dark and threatening. To be heading into the depths of the jungle. I try to distract myself by paying attention to the flowers we pass. Weird, spiky-looking pink flowers I've never seen before. Maybe the extra humid weather is making them blossom. And also those big orange flowers that appeared after La Lluvia yesterday, all wilted and dead now. Faded carcasses on the jungle floor. I spot poisonous-looking flashes of bright and yellow as bugs and frogs, and probably snakes too, move amid the trees. The jungle seems ferocious to me today, and with each step my sense of threat increases until my heart feels like a continual whir of motion. No beats at all. Meanwhile, Rue keeps rushing perkily through the jungle behind Kyle, as though she's done this a million times before. Was it really only 2 days ago that we set out into the jungle to beg Dad not to capture and kill any LTVTs? Lava-throated volcano trogons? Was it really only... Oh, and here we are, and the gala is tomorrow, and we fly home on Sunday, and it feels like our entire future depends on us finding the lava-throated volcano trogons like now. So I say the first word any of us has said in a long time. I know we need to capture it today. Rue and Kyle have taken to calling the bird it, so I guess I better too. But how exactly are we going to do that? Are we just going to sort of wander around the jungle? I don't mean to sound quite as negative as I do, but I can't think of a more positive way to say it. Rue sighs with irritation at my questions. I can tell her exasperation is only a show, though. In truth, she's buzzing with so much energy that nothing could bother her. Weren't you listening, she says. We're going to find it. Easy peasy. Okay, sure, easy peasy. Finding basically an extinct bird in a crazy jungle. Whatever, but what I want to discuss is the methodology, as Dad would say. No matter how brilliant a bird tracker you may be, it's not as though this is a straightforward task. I wish I felt calm, logical, smart. I wish the day weren't so gosh darn humid, filling my brain with fog. I wish I weren't just gazing out into layers upon layers upon layers of jungle where hundreds of lava throats could hide without anyone having any idea. I think back to Kyle's Polaroid, the bird ready to spring into life and fly out of the photograph. How will we ever find, much less catch, a pigeon-sized creature like that and all this chaos and vegetation? Easy peasy? I repeat sarcastically. Yeah, the way a Herculean labor is easy peasy. Herculean labor. Another of Dad's favorite phrases, and pretty impressive for a 12-year-old to use, if I do say so myself, though Kyle doesn't seem to notice. Remember what Dad always said about tracking, Rule scolds me. You have to notice the tiniest things in the world. You have to think like a bird. Oh, I say even more sarcastic. Okay, great, perfect, that's helpful. I'll get right on that. Hello, I'm a bird. I need to fly, poop, and sleep. I know I sound really dumb and also rude, but hey, I'm kind of dehydrated, I wait for Rue and Kyle to respond to my little outburst, but they don't say a word. They just keep pressing on, deeper into the jungle, and blushing a bit, I follow. Once in a while, one of them looks back sharply when I snap a twig or stumble over a log. But other than that, they pretty much ignore me. For some reason, none of us have brought up the fact that they'd be way better off without me tagging along behind, but I guess they don't want to be mean, and there's sure as heck no way I'd ever be able to find my way back to the Sala Lodge alone. So I try to forget about Dad and the lava-throated volcano trogons and all the things I'm worried about, and instead just think about the jungle, the amazing colors of it, and the hundreds of shades of green as you look deep into it. Also, I think about Kyle, a few yards ahead of me, holding his transparent bird net out in front of him. Kyle and Rue keep their necks craned upward, and whenever a bird darts overhead, they freeze and stare. I try to catch a glimpse too, but can I just say this is so hard? I mean, the bird is here and gone in less than half a second. Was it an it? Rue mouths to Kyle, or he mouths to her, and every time the answer is no, 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 no. So this is it. The search for the lava-throated volcano trogon. 3 kids wandering around the jungle in the general area where it might possibly be possible to spot the last living members of a species about to go extinct. 3 kids playing make-believe? I'd laugh at us if I didn't want to cry with hopelessness. Still, we keep on keeping on, the same old, Rue and Kyle doing their thing while I bumble along behind. Finally, sometime in the middle of the day, after I've been starving for a long time, but have bravely not complained, Kyle stops and pulls some food out of his backpack. Black corn tortillas, pineapple chunks, strangely shaped nuts that make me sad for a second, because these are probably the unusual jungle nuts Dad wrote us about in one of his early normal letters back in January. Comida de tu abuela? Rue asks. I think that means, did your grandmother pack that for us? Claro, Kyle says, meaning, I think Claro, it might be a different name, like Claire. The witch's food is the most satisfying food in the world, even though there isn't a lot after eating it. It must be Grandma must have packed that for them. I feel very full and very strong. It's actually kind of eerie how much that little bit of food does for me. My senses are more alert. My ears perk to the screeches and hoots and howls and thrills of the jungle. Now that I'm truly listening, the jungle seems to overflow with the noise of demon creatures, but I'm with Rue and Kyle, and Rue and Kyle are with me, so I try to stay calm. By late afternoon, though, Kyle is one of his don't you dare talk to me moods, and Rue looks like she wants to kick somebody. Even though I was right all along about this being impossible, it's not as though I'm enjoying my rightness. The jungle keeps getting darker and darker. La Lluvia warning sign. Kyle says something to Rue in Spanish, and she turns around and starts leading us back downhill, back toward the Selva Lodge. So even Rue and Kyle are actually giving up after this stupid, exhausting, useless march. I can feel Kyle storming along behind me. I wonder if he's thinking my hair looks nice and dark and shiny, or that it looks dull and dark and dirty, even though I pretty much know he's not thinking about my hair at all. I glance back at him, hoping that maybe he'll be looking at me, but he's staring at the high branches of the trees, his eyebrows wrinkled with big thoughts, and somehow I bet his big thoughts are also very dark thoughts, and a fresh layer of worry spreads all over the worry I've already got. Siesta time. Wait, I must have missed something. Oh. As usual, everything is normal back at the Selva Lodge. Parents standing up from lawn chairs and wiping sweat off their forehead and yelling at their wrestling, squealing kids to get out of the pool because the rain is going to start any second now. And besides, it's siesta time. I'm surprised all over again to see people actually vacationing. The concrete courtyard quickly empties of tourists, and Kyle and Rue head straight for the kitchen of the Selva Cafe, so I follow. Tango said, Rue mumbles as she staggers in the door. Yo también, Kyle says. It's a little lonely being the only one who doesn't know what said means. And I feel extra lonely when we discover that the witch isn't in the kitchen, which is like something out of an impossible nightmare because she's always in the kitchen at this time of day. And it strikes me that I'm not so very scared of Senora V anymore. When I call her a witch, I'm doing it out of habit or even as a compliment. I mean, yes, I still think she's powerful. I still bet she's capable of doing some scary things, but I'm not that scared of her. I really wish you were here right now. Rue and Kyle and I plunk down into the red plastic chairs at the metal table and just sit there staring blankly and not talking. Kyle puts his elbows on the table and his face in his hands. My head feels fuzzy and heavy, and I bet theirs do too. Tired and mad and sad and tired. Hot, thirsty, hopeless. We've become so limp, so lame, and I realize this must be us giving up for good. The gala is tomorrow, and we've got nothing, nothing, nothing. I stare out at the kitchen window and notice that the volcano is steaming and smoking even more than usual. Can we get out of here? Rue says to me, her voice rising with frustration. If she's not around, I'd rather just take a nap or something. Sure, I leap on Rue's suggestion. I want to get out too. I never thought I'd feel this way, but I'm finding that the kitchen seems absolutely horrible without the witch, dull and doomed. Oops, sorry guys. My pages are stuck. There we go. Kyle doesn't pay attention to us, his face still buried in his hands. Rue and I stand up to leave, but the exact second we reach the door, La Lluvia comes crashing down. And when we turn around, who should be there but the witch, in her beautiful black lace veil, pouring something hot and red into 3 mugs on the metal table. I swear it's like she appeared out of nowhere. Kyle heaves a huge, relieved sigh as he gazes up at his grandmother. It only takes me an instant to get up the courage to flop down into the chair right beside him, my ankle thumping up against his ankle, and then staying there, touching. I guess that's the kind of friends we are, the kind of friends who let their ankles touch under the table while La Lluvia does its thing outside. I have to bite down on the grin that pops into my lips. The witch pushes one of the mugs towards me. Frankly, the liquid in the mug looks more like blood than anything else, but here's the strange thing, which hits me right then as I stare at that steaming, poisonous-looking liquid. Now I'm excited, not scared to drink the witch's drink. I take a sip, and much to my surprise, it tastes like honey and chocolate, 2 of my favorite flavors. Ooh, Rue gasps, vanilla and pink Skittles. Vanilla and pink Skittles? 2 of Rue's favorites. But it's most definitely not vanilla and pink Skittles. It's honey and chocolate. No, Kyle corrects. It's Dr. Pepper, but without the fizz, plus candy canes. Well, okay, whatever. The witch smiles on us from behind her veil, with a warmth that feels almost physical, like the way sun feels on your arms, and suddenly I'm calmer than I've been all day. A few sips in, I notice what a pleasant, smooth sound the rain is making all around us, so loud we can't talk, but such a lovely sound that it softens my thoughts, and I'm really enjoying the warmth of Kyle's ankle against my ankle. We're just touching the tiniest of bits, like he probably doesn't even notice, but there's this heat coming off his skin. And suddenly I'm thinking, maybe it's all going to be okay. Maybe it's all going to be fine. Maybe it's all going to work out very, very well. For a while I stare deep down into the red heart of my drink, and then when I finally look up, my vision feels somehow different, warmer, more glowing. Maybe someone flicked on a light. I'm not sure. I was kind of spaced out there, but anyway, when I look over at Rue and Kyle and the witch, they all seem extraordinarily wonderful to me. Bright little fireball Rue, perking up to listen to whatever Spanish words the glorious good witch Senora Villalobos is murmuring into her ear, while smart, solemn, radiant Kyle looks on. They all look just exceptionally beautiful. But not only beautiful, they look larger than life, like ancient gods or something. Kyle's golden eyes seem to be creating their own light. My head and fingers and belly feel very airy, sort of like they don't weigh anything anymore, almost as though I'm drifting toward the ceiling. It's a splendid, splendid feeling, a floating, joyful feeling that erases my frustration. I can't wait to try again, to go back into the jungle tomorrow and look for that bird. I stare at Kyle and Rue, wondering if they're feeling the same thing I am. I want to ask them, but my vocal cords are as drippy as honey, and I can't speak. So instead I just smile huge and loving, the way Senora V smiles behind her veil, and Kyle is looking back at me with an expression that I think might be awe. Kyle is looking at me with awe, just the way I'm looking at him. I feel my heart straining inside me and hold out my mug for another serving of the hot red liquid, whatever it is. At that second, La Lluvia ends. ¿Qué pasa, abuelo? Kyle says, turning to look at the side of the room, his concerned voice cutting through my dreaminess. It's only then that I notice Senor V sitting on a stool in the corner of the kitchen. Wait, has he been here all along? How could I have missed that? But what's really odd is that his face doesn't look serene. Senor V's worried face is one of the most frightening things I've ever seen, because I've never seen his face not looking serene, and I can't shake the feeling that if he's worried, the rest of us better be really worried. Then it strikes me that for all her veiled smiles and generous pouring, Senora V is distracted today too. She picks up her broom and paces around the kitchen, not sweeping, but just wandering back and forth. As I watch her, the happy, hopeful feeling starts to drain away from me, and I feel sad, so sad. El volcán, Senor V says simply. We all turn to stare at it, and as we do, it releases a large burst of sickly greenish steam. Rue whispers what we're all thinking. Once the last bird dies, the volcano will blow. The witch sits down with us at the table, broom in one hand and pitcher in the other. She pours more red liquid into my mug, and then into Kyle's, and then Rue's. Tomorrow, she says, almost growling, no longer the gentle witch of a few minutes ago, you must do what you set out to do. The day of the gala? Kyle says, there's no way. The witch slams her broom down on the metal table, making a tremendous noise, and I cringe. Maybe I was wrong not to be scared of her. Drink, she commands. It's hard to tell who she's talking to, so we all gulp from our own cups. We would do it if we could, she says, but only you three can do it. I get a little flutter in my stomach when she puts me in the same category as Rue and Kyle, even though I know she's just being polite. It requires youth, the witch explains, the pure conviction of youth. She gazes up at the ceiling with shiny wood eyes, like those of a lady saint on the wall calendar behind her. Then she stands, mutters, Arriba, and she shuffles towards the winding staircase in the back corner of the kitchen. Kyle and Rue and I get up and follow in silence. When the witch opens Kyle's door, I'm puzzled to see 3 pairs of loose-fitting green pants and 3 long-sleeved green shirts she'd laid out on his bed. 1 small, 1 medium, 1 large. Uniforms, Rue gasps, clapping her hands. Put them on, Senora V orders. We pull them over our shorts and t-shirts, and all the garments fit perfectly. Weirdly perfectly. The witch smiles, pleased. We'll blend in so well, Rue whispers excitedly. We'll be invisible. Man, sometimes I wish I were 9 and I could still believe in invisibility and that kind of thing. I'm about to tell Rue she needs to have a reality check when Kyle grabs our hands and leads us over to the small circular mirror on his wall. Only then do I notice that the garments are made from cloth that's green, like the green of the jungle. A green that contains many different shades of green. A green that changes with every movement I make. We stand there shimmering. The feeling I got from the red potion returns. I'm suddenly flooded with belief. Belief in impossibility and invisibility and magic. I squeeze Rue's hand. I squeeze Kyle's hand. Here we come. Wow. Wow. Another exciting chapter. Okay, can't wait to read chapter 15. I'm wondering if they will find the lava-throated volcano trogon in chapter 15. Bye for now.